Hey there, friends. It's Mark from Men Who Bullet. Thanks for hanging out with me today as I give you a Cliff Notes version of the STACK method, which is an amazing method you can use to organize and prioritize your email. Whether you're using this at work or personally, the STACK method can work for anything. I've already implemented this in my work email over the past few weeks, and it has been game-changing, life-changing, all of the changings. It has been so cool, and I wanted to share with you kind of the brief overview of what it is, tell you a little bit of background, and then we're actually going to put this into play as you watch me set up the STACK method for myself in my personal email. And that's going to be a process. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, the STACK method, let's talk about the creator, Prashanth Nayyar. He created this method to just overcome the overwhelmingness that is email. And he really takes email into being what it is, which is work. Email is not always easy. You have to process it, but how you process it is what this is all built onto. I absolutely love this. So what he does is he takes the idea of email as a message and he turns it into an action. So every email that we get in our email box, we follow usually the same process. We open the email, we scan it, we decide what we need to do, and then we act on it. So let's say you get an email and you need to reply to it. We open it, we scan through it, and then we decide, okay, this needs to be replied to, and then we reply to it. And then we go to our next email. We open it, we scan it, we decide that we need to put a meeting on the books, and then we put a meeting on the books. And we do this for every single email as we go through. And what happens is every single time you do that, you have to change the way that your brain is processing things. So what if instead of making those decisions right off the top and then acting on them right away, what if we decide to prioritize them and organize them somewhere first, and then put ourselves into a batch mode mental model to then take on and execute on each one of those things? So that's exactly what the STACK method does. Instead of just opening, scanning, deciding, and acting, it puts a little bit of an organization and prioritization in place, which is focused on these action folders. And it's actually something that we're going to set up as a part of this process. And the action folders are action-oriented, and they're short, and they're sweet. So words like reply, review, do, meet, forward. These are things that you're going to then sort your emails into. So what you'll do is you'll open and you'll scan and you'll decide, what do I need to do with this? Do I need to reply to this email? Is there a task or an action that I need to do? Do I need to set up or approve a meeting that I have? Or do I need to delegate this and forward it to someone else? And you'll go through all of your emails in a process we'll just talk about in just a minute, and you'll take all of those and then you'll go ahead and sort those into these action folders. And then what you'll do is you'll take on each one of those action folders in a priority as well. So you're sorting your emails first, and then next you're going to prioritize those action folders even, and then you'll kind of go in and prioritize the emails that are in those action folders. So those action folders are probably one of the most important parts of this method. So when you have an action like reply, pretty self-explanatory. It's an email that you need to reply to. But when you go through and you're stacking your emails, you're not going to reply to that right away. You're going to take that and put that into your action folder. Let's say you need to review an email, right? It's not something you need an action to do or a meeting, but you just need to read over it later. That's cool. You scanned it, you put it inside of review. You'll do the same exact thing for the rest. Do is an action. Meet is either a meeting you need to set up or that you need to accept. And the last one is forward, and that's when you're delegating something to somebody else. So what you'll need to do for yourself is actually prioritize those and think about your body of work and how you need to take those on for yourself. So I've actually done this for myself in my work email. So I actually prioritize this by reply, do, meet, forward, and review. So the last thing I need to do is review an email, but the most important thing that I'm doing in my day is replying to emails. And what I love is that this method is very flexible on how you work, the things you need to do, and how you set up your day. And if you don't need all of those folders, you take one out. You have a different action item that you need to do, you can add that in, but you'll still follow that same process of stacking them first and organizing where they need to go, and then taking on your action list in a prioritized fashion. One of the things that really shook me about this method is the archive folder. So before I started this in my work email, I probably had 30 or 35 folders that I would kind of compartmentalize and put things away to save. But what I love about the STACK method is they're like, hey, how often do you really go back and read those emails? Instead of putting it into all of these sub-compartmentalized little folders, just add them to your archive folder. And if you need to find them, let your email client do the work. You can use your search menu in your archive folder and find what you're looking for, because more than likely you know a name, you know the tool, or you know some bit of information. So instead of taking all that time and creating all those folders, just put it inside of your archive folder and you're done. Okay, so you have all the building blocks of the stack method. We talked about action folders. We talked about sorting your emails first into those action folders before you take on the actual process of doing anything. We also talked about prioritizing those action folders depending on your day specifically. And then we also talked about the archive folder, which is where you're just going to put anything that you need to save for later. And I didn't mention it, but once you're done with a task or an email, or you don't need to do anything with it, delete it, put it in the trash. You don't need it. Now, perhaps you're asking yourself, well, okay, great. I do that. How often do I stack? When do I stack? How do I do this thing? Well, the process is pretty straightforward in how the creator talked about the stack method, which first and foremost, and I love this, is blocking time on your calendar to stack every single day. So say you do it from 9 to 10 o'clock or even 9 to 9:30, depending how much time you need. You're going to put that on your calendar every single day, and you're going to utilize that time to accomplish exactly what you need to, which in this case is going to be the stack method in your email box. And you'll start every day going through, opening, scanning, sorting, and then getting to a point where you're like, okay, my email box is clean. Let me go back and prioritize inside of each one of my action folders to plan out that day. Now, this is a big question I had, and I'm still sorting this out myself personally, is what happens when new emails come into your email box? Do you sort multiple times a day? The creator says no, that you actually work out of your email box for the rest of the day. Once you go ahead and stack in the morning, the rest of your day you're going to be answering emails or doing other things with after you've gone through your priority list that you've already set up for yourself. But for myself personally, I've found that I actually like to stack twice a day with my work email. And the reason I do that is it just really has helped me kind of prioritize my day along with using my bullet journal, if I'm being totally honest. So I actually block out time in the morning to stack and take care of everything that's in my email box in the morning. And then I stack a second time in the afternoon before I kick off my afternoon meetings. So usually from 9 to 9:30, and then usually from 1 to 1:30, depending on meetings, is the time that I'll go ahead and take to figure things out. When you get to the end of the day, you're going to just kind of take a look at what else you need to accomplish if it was things inside of your folders and take some dedicated time to get those things done. But you don't have to worry about stacking again at the end of the day because you're going to focus on that tomorrow morning. So really the big thing is stack once a day in the morning, get everything lined up, prioritize the items inside of your action folders, and then you're going to just focus on those and working out of your email inbox during the day. So now for the fun, let's go ahead and take some time, and I'm going to show you how I am going to organize and set up my personal email box for the stack method using the folders we talked about, and then going through and sorting everything. Let's get into it. All right, inside of my inbox now, as you can see, I already have my archive folder here, but I have all of these other subfolders that I created. So the first step that I'm going to do is go ahead into all of these, and I'm just going to archive all of these messages. I put them in here for a reason. There's a reason I was keeping them, so now I can find them again if I need them. Now that I've done that though, I'll go ahead and delete all of those folders so we can start fresh. I'm using the Mail app on my Mac. You might need a little bit of a different direction depending on the different platform you're using, and there are a lot of great resources on stackmethod.com for you. So I'm going to create a new mailbox, and I'm going to go ahead and prioritize this. So this will be my number one priority, which will be my reply folders. Go ahead and click OK, and that'll organize it right under here for me. And I'll go ahead and keep creating these and pulling them up. So my second one is going to be due. So those are going to be those action-oriented ones. The next mailbox I set up is going to be my third priority, and that's going to be meet. So for any meetings I need to accept or meetings that I need to make. My fourth one is going to be forward if I need to delegate anything. And my last one is going to be review. And I have all of them here. So I have my inbox, my first, which is reply, due, meet, forward, and review. And now let's go ahead. We have 1,232 messages that we need to stack. So I'll go through the first few together with you so you can see what this looks like. So the first is a love lettering newsletter. I'll go ahead and put that in review. I have 2 new YouTube comments that I want to make sure that I'm replying to. So I'll go ahead and sort them into reply. I got a Desk Gems referral. Yay, that's awesome. I'll go ahead and put that in review so I can take a look at that later. And I'm going to keep doing this all the way through my 1,220 some odd emails. So that took a lot of time. Obviously, it was extremely sped up because going through 1,200 emails would have been one hell of a long video. But setting up those folders has been really helpful for me. And now I know exactly what I need to do. It is always hard doing this for the first time, especially with that many emails. But I will tell you that just using that stack method of opening and scanning and sorting is just as amazing. And I was able to blow through those while not like at lightning speed, pretty darn fast. And anything that I didn't need, I just deleted. And if I maybe needed to look at it again, I just archived it. And I didn't need to create any kind of specialty folder and take any extra time for that, which I really love. So if you think this is the method for you, this is something that's going to work in your favor, I recommend you check out the rest of this series over on the website, thestackmethod.com. And there's actually an entire free course for you that you can go through. It'll go through essentially in depth what I talked about inside of this video here, but I always recommend checking it out coming from the creator's mouth, because that's really where you start to really understand the life, the soul of this method and what it is. Let me know in the comments below if you think that this method is right for you, or maybe you've already implemented or tried the stack method. I'd love to hear from you and learn more about what you've gained from this method in your own personal productivity within your wonderful email box. I appreciate you checking out today's video. And as always, happy planning, happy organizing, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya.